Hey guys, I am Vicky. Welcomes you on Wiki Engineer. In this video, we will learn how to calculate the heat load sheet for your project or any premises. In this video, we will learn practically what are the parameters to calculate heat load sheet and what type of heat dissipations are there, or how many will be the fresh air requirement or the return air requirement for your project and all that. If you're seeing this type of video, consider the subscription and press the all button on the bell icon so that I can reach you faster with this type of video.
So this is a tutorial session. Here we will calculate or learn to calculate how to calculate the heat load sheet. And in this session we will learn through practical demonstration through AutoCAD how to calculate or how to select some parameters to know what the output value will be for our project. As you see over here, some areas are highlighted in yellow. Basically these are the parameters to be considered or to be assumed to calculate the heat load sheet. These are the primary parameters. Without this yellow highlighted area or yellow highlighted data, you can't calculate the heat load sheet for any project. The most important thing is, first is the dB, that is the dry bulb temperature. Next is RS factor, that stands for relative humidity in percentage. Next is wet bulb temperature, next is TS factor, next is grains per pound. I think you must have some idea or you must know what are the parameters in your area so that you can enter the actual data over here. If you don't know the data and living in Indian subcontinent or your project in this area, you may use this data that stands mostly accuracy. Since it's a data for some area, I can't say 100% accuracy, but since you are in Indian subcontinent, mostly this will be accurate. You may use it. Otherwise, you have to enter the actual data. If you don't know how to calculate the dB or RH or what is the WB temperature, then let me know in the comment section so that I will make a separate video and how to consider these values. For that time, if you are in this area, you may use this value. Next is area. The premises area. Since we are considering this bedroom over here, this is 10.6 by 10, so that comes to 106 square feet. I have entered 106 over here. Then this is the total height. Total height means total clear height starting from your roof to your floor level. That is the clear height. So I have mentioned 10 feet over here. If in your cases it varies, you may enter the data over here. Next is false ceiling level. Whether you have a false ceiling in your area or premises or in your home or not. If you have your false ceiling, enter the height of the false ceiling from the floor. If not, then the clear height will be entered over here as 10 over here. Since I am demonstrating a project, I feel considering the false ceiling, the project demonstration will be go good, so that in many purpose people can use it. Next, we are starting the calculation from now. One more thing to tell you, going through this video, if you have some confusion, pause the video again and again and again and learn. After that, if you are having some confusion or some query, let me know in the comment section. I'll glad to help you on that. First is in fresh air calculation, how many people are considered or assumed to be there in your premises. Since it is a bedroom, maximum 2 to 3 people will be there, but on a higher note I am entering 5 people, that is 2 people extra over here. Next is the CFM, per person CFM. I have considered 7.5 over here. Basically calculating the CFM for fresh air, basically there are two ways to calculate. One is how many people are there, and per person what CFM you are considering. That is the way one, first way. As you see over your formula, D11 multiplied by B11, that comes to 37.5. That is the first way of calculating the CFM. Here, what is the CFM and what it stands for? Basically, CFM is the unit of air. Like for example, if you are going to a shop and asking for a sugar potato for, then you are asking for 1 kilo or 2 kilogram, like that, that's calculated in CFM. Next way, the second way is what air changes per hour. Basically there are some consideration to air changes per hour to what type of project you are considering. Is it an industrial one, is it a commercial one, is it a residential one, like that. On that basis we are considering the air changes per hour. Since we are calculating for residential, we are considering the air changes per hour equals to 1. You also may use the air changes per 1 in commercial purpose also. In some cases, some multiplex or some mall, in that cases the air changes vary on that. You must know what air changes per hour to be considered. Actually, basically there is a chart on that chart that you may find from that for what conditions what air changes to be selected. If you don't know, let me know. I'll give you that data so that you can use that. In this formula, you may see over here is C7 multiplied by C9. In this case, this is C7 and this is C9. That is the area multiplied by the false ceiling level, divided upon 60, multiplied by 812, that is the air changes per hour. This is the basically formula. Basically it's the volume area multiplied by height, that is that comes to volume, divided upon 60, multiplied by air changes per hour. Basically that is the formula. I have entered all formulas over here. Do not change any formula so that you will be only in trouble in that cases. Next is, these are the two values for two ways how to calculate CFM that we got the value. Then height comes to 38. Basically from the two values, the highest value is always considered. Since it's 38 or 37.5, in rounded up it's 38, we have considered 38. As you see, the formula over here is max F11, that is 37.5, comma F12, that is 14. Next we will go for the heat loss. As you know, there are basically two types of heat loss. They are in two forms. One is sensible heat, as you see over here. This is the sensible heat. Next is the latent heat. Basically heat loss occurred due to temperature change, that falls under the sensible heat, and heat loss occurred due to phase change, that comes in latent heat. For example, if you have a bowl of water at 180 degrees centigrade and you are letting cooling it down to 100 or 110 degrees centigrade, then the heat loss occurred in that process falls under the sensible heat, that is sensible heat. Then onwards, if you are cooling it down from 100 degrees centigrade to 30 or 40 degrees centigrade, in that case the phase change doesn't occur. What I want to say you is, in 100 degrees centigrade the phase is water or liquid, and in 30 degrees centigrade, then that phase also you will consider, or you will get the phase is water only. That means there is no phase change. So in that case, the heat loss occurred due to, in that case, that falls under the latent heat. I think you must have some clarity on that. Till then, if you are any concern or any query or any confusion, what is the heat loss or what types are, let me know in the comment section. I will make separate on that. So let's start the sensible heat calculation. As you see over here, these are the parameters you have to enter. The selected area, these parameters you have to enter. The two columns, the one is factor, one is temperature. You don't have to do anything with the two columns. You only have to enter the data over here. First is wall north, wall northeast, wall southeast, wall south, like that. So for that we will go to the AutoCAD so that we can calculate. As you see over here, the drawing and the compass value. So this is the south side, and the value comes to, the length is 10.6 feet, right? And the height we have considered over here is 10 feet, so that it comes to 106 feet wall south. Next we have wall west. As you see over here, this is the west side wall, and this is a brick wall, that is a solid wall. So we will take the length as, will I enter, this is 5 feet 1 inch, and the height as we have considered over here is 10 feet, so it comes to wall west 51 feet. Next again we will go. Next, as you see over here, this is a glass window, and the length is 4 feet. And suppose consider it's a window, a maximum there will be 6 feet window, so that it comes to 6 multiplied by 4, 24 feet. So our wall glass west side comes to 24. Then there is some portion below that, so that below that glass, since we have considered it as a 6 feet height glass, then 4 feet are left from the wall height, so that next 4 feet multiplied by 4, that means 16 feet. Again there are some brick wall, so we will enter the 16 feet over here, that is 51 plus 16, that is 67 feet total brick wall. Next again we will go for, this is a separation that is not exposed to outside. As we see over here, this side wall is 10 feet 6 inch, so that this also will be 10 feet 6 inch multiplied by 10 feet, that is 106 feet. So we will enter the 106 feet partition wall over here, that is 106 feet. Next again one more partition is here, this side. As you see 10 feet over here, the length, this side of length is 10 feet and the height is 10 feet, so we will again enter one more 100 feet, so that it comes to 106 plus 100 feet, that is 206 feet. Next is roof. If your floor is a top floor and your roof is facing to the sun, in that case you have to enter the roof square feet over here. If it's not, and you have some floor in your up, then you don't have to enter the roof over here. Next is ceiling. Since we have considered ceiling over here, we have a ceiling in this project, so we will enter the earth again 106 feet a ceiling in that, so that here we will enter 106 feet. Next is a flooring. Again in floor, if you have a air conditioned or climate control floor below your premises, then you do not have to enter the floor over here. So I am making it to 0. Next is fresh air. Here we have calculated already what the fresh air required for our project, that is 38. So automatically it comes to 38 over here. You don't have to do anything in fresh air. And the people also you have considered before, that is 5 people, so it can directly come here 5. Next is lighting load in square feet. We have considered lighting load 1.5 per square feet, and here is the 106. As you see over here, C7, that is C7 here is total square feet of that project. So total lighting load will be 3.41 watt. Next is equipment in kilowatt. Other equipments like let's assume some LED TV or something, one LED TV, it stands for normally 60 watt, and including some 100 to 200 watt, maximum there will be 250 watt, that is 0.25 kilowatt. I think in a bedroom there won't be any much more equipment. If you have some extra equipment, you always enter the data over here. Now we are getting the total sensible heat in BTU per hour, that is 7975 BTU per hour. Here it comes to what is BTU per hour. Again, it's a unit of heat that is stands for British thermal unit. It comes to that's a total summation of 7975, and we have considered 10% you seeing over here as a safety factor. The total comes to 8772 total ERSH, that is total sensible heat. So our first part is over, how to calculate sensible heat. If you are having any confusion or any doubts in how to calculate sensible heat, let me know in the comment section. I'll wait for your comment and will glad to answer you. Next we will go for latent heat. How to calculate the latent heat, that is the heat loss. For calculating the heat load, latent heat, first is fresh air, that is 38 we got over here. Next is 80 is the grains per pound, that the value we got from here. Next is 0.1 by 0.7. you don't do anything. I'll say you do not do anything to this factor. So we get our total value is 302 as a fresh air. Next is how many people are there. Since you see over here we have assumed 5 people are there. Next is 4. What the 4 stands for? As the computers have some heat release, as a person we have also some heat release from our body when we breathe, so that value is considered and it comes to 20. Then the total latent heat. Total latent heat comes to 322. It is also in BTU per hour. The total unit of heat is BTU per hour. Again we have considered 5% as the safety factor over here, that is 16, and total comes to 332. Till now we have calculated what is the sensible heat requirement and what is the latent heat requirement, that is ERLS total and ERSH total. Now we will go for what is the total heat loss or heat load of that project. So it comes to, as you see over here, J20, the LH total, that is latent heat total, and the E46, here E46 stands for, this is E46, what is the ERSH total. So in summation of that two, it comes to 9110 BTU per hour. This is the total heat loss of that project. Next is grand heat subtotal. What is the grand heat subtotal? As you see over here, J21, that is J21 effective room total heat, plus J22, that is the 2525, that fresh air. And next is J44. What is the J44? J44 is the return air requirement. This is the J44 as you see. In some cases, if you are calculating for individual techniques like some split unit or high wall unit, mostly used in residential purposes. Also in some cases we use cassette units as individual. In that cases actually we do not need. If there is a false ceiling level and we are using a cassette unit, in that case we will need the return air to be calculated. Since we are considering a residential project and high wall units, we will not go for the return air gain. In separate video we will calculate how to calculate the return air gain. So total it comes to 11634. Again there is one safety factor of 3% we have taken, so that it comes to grand total heat comes to 11983 BTU per hour. Then the next thing is how to calculate BTU per hour to air conditioning tonnage. As you see over here is J25, that is the grand total heat divided upon 12,000. Why 12,000? The reason behind this is one air conditioning tonnage equals to 12,000 BTU per hour. It will fall below 1 again, but again going for the round off, this is coming to 1. If we will go for the home and this value, this will fall below. As you see, this comes to 0.999. Next is ADP. First, as you see over here, this is the indicated ADP and this is the selected ADP. Basically, there is a chart to select what ADP to be considered in consideration, what ADP to be assumed in that. Basically, there is a chart. From that chart, for this condition we have come for 54. If you need that chart, let me know in the comment. I'll provide you in comments also in a separate video for your easiness how to select that. And this is the selected ADP. What the formula is, maximum of J29, 54. That stands for if 54, if our calculation, as you see over here, comes to 0.96. If 0.96 lesser than 54, the selected ADP automatically goes to 54. If that will come, suppose 55, then the selected ADP will come to 55. Next is dehumidifier CFM. Dehumidifier CFM equals to, as you see over here, F8 minus max of J29 J30. As you see over here, J29 J30, that is the ADP, comma multiplied by 0.85 and 1.08. That comes for dehumidifier CFM. As you know, humidification and dehumidification, that's a different topic. If you do not know what dehumidifier CFM works for, why it is calculated and what the need of it, let me know. For that also we will go through a separate video so that things will be clear and people do not confuse on that. Next is return again, and this is the proposed unit or model number. You always can what model number you are proposing for your client and what tonnage, what quantity for that, what CFM that machine is providing. You always can enter that. That's it in this video, and this is a professionally managed sheet. Directly you always can enter the data and provide the heat load sheet, technical data sheet to your client also. Go through the data, have some project on this. I'll provide the data sheet in our Telegram channels also, so that you can go to there and download the data for your further use. And if you have any doubts or any confusions in that process of any calculation, let me know, so that I'll glad to have you some clarification on that.
So I think you must have some clarity on this topic. If you have some query or suggestion on this topic, give me in the comment section below so that I can revert you back on this topic. If you like this type of video, consider subscription and press the bell icon, also the all button on that, so that I can reach you faster with this type of videos. So for now, signing off. Bye bye. See you next.